Most people destroy their own happiness. They don't realize it, but every single day, they make choices that slowly steal their peace. Not because they are weak, not because they are unlucky, but because they are searching for happiness in places where happiness was never meant to be found. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when people respect me. I'll be happy when life finally goes my way"? At first, it sounds reasonable, but there's a problem. The moment you reach one goal, your mind creates another. The moment you achieve something, it stops feeling special. The moment you get what you wanted, you start wanting something else. And suddenly happiness feels just as far away as before. This is the trap that keeps millions of people running for their entire lives. Always chasing, never arriving. And the worst part, most people never realize they're trapped. They think the problem is that they don't have enough, but the real problem is that they're looking in the wrong direction. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than most people ever will. He had power, wealth, respect, influence, everything people spend their lives chasing. Yet he constantly reminded himself that external things could never create lasting happiness, because anything given by the world can be taken by the world. Money disappears, success fades, people leave, circumstances change. And if your happiness depends entirely on those things, then your happiness becomes fragile. One bad day can destroy it. One rejection can destroy it. One failure can destroy it. One difficult person can destroy it. That's why so many people feel exhausted. They are trying to build peace on things that constantly change. Imagine building a house on sand. It may look beautiful, but the moment the storm arrives, everything begins to shake. That is exactly how most people build happiness. They build it on approval, on success, on comfort, on perfect circumstances. Then they wonder why they constantly feel anxious. Because deep down, they know those things can disappear, and when happiness depends on something temporary, fear always follows. But here's what most people never realize. The happiest people are not happier because life is easier for them. The happiest people simply learned something that others never did. They stopped trying to control everything and started focusing on what actually belongs to them. This is where the entire Stoic philosophy begins. Epictetus said, "Some things are within our control, and some things are not." Simple words, but they can completely change a person's life. Because most people spend enormous amounts of energy fighting things they cannot control. They worry about opinions, they worry about outcomes, they worry about the future, they worry about things that haven't even happened yet. And every day their mind becomes heavier. Not because life is difficult, but because they are carrying responsibilities that were never theirs to carry. Think about how much suffering comes from trying to control other people. You want someone to understand you. They don't. You want someone to respect you. They don't. You want someone to change. They refuse. And suddenly your peace depends on a person you cannot control. The Stoics saw this clearly. They understood that the moment your happiness depends on controlling someone else, you give away your freedom, because now your emotional state belongs to them, and that is a dangerous place to live. The happiest people refuse to live there. Instead, they focus on what actually belongs to them. Their actions, their mindset, their discipline, their character, their choices, because these things remain available no matter what happens. And this creates a different kind of confidence, a confidence that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. Imagine two people facing the same setback. The first person immediately becomes angry, blames everyone, complains, obsesses over what went wrong, and spends weeks trapped inside frustration. The second person feels disappointed too, but instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" he asks, "What can I do now?" One person loses energy. The other gains direction. One stays stuck. The other moves forward. The situation is the same, but the response is completely different. And that response changes everything. This is why happiness is not created by events. It is created by interpretation. Two people can experience the same day and feel completely different about it. Because life is not only what happens, life is also the meaning we attach to what happens. Most people never question those meanings. Something goes wrong, and they immediately assume life is against them. Someone criticizes them, and they immediately assume they're not good enough. A plan fails, and they immediately assume they are failing. But the Stoics trained themselves to pause, to step back, to examine the situation before reacting, and that small pause often protects an entire day. Because the mind has a habit of turning small problems into large ones. A delay becomes a disaster. A mistake becomes a catastrophe. A criticism becomes proof of failure. And suddenly, suffering grows far larger than the original event. The happiest people don't allow this process to happen automatically. They challenge their first reaction. They ask better questions. They separate facts from emotions. And because of that, they recover faster. They adapt faster, and they protect their peace. But there is another hidden reason why so many people struggle to stay happy. A reason that affects almost everyone, and it quietly steals happiness every single day. Comparison. You may not notice it, but comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy peace. Because no matter how much progress you make, someone will always seem ahead. Someone will always have more. Someone will always look happier. And if your happiness depends on winning that race, you will never reach the finish line. The Stoics refused to compare their lives to others. They compared themselves only to who they were yesterday. Because real growth is not about being better than someone else. It's about becoming better than your former self. And once you understand that, everything begins to change. Because happiness stops being a competition and starts becoming a daily practice. But this leads to the first Stoic habit that separates truly happy people from everyone else. A habit so powerful that it can immediately reduce stress, anxiety, and frustration. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your problems the same way again. The first Stoic habit of truly happy people is simple. They stop fighting reality. Most suffering begins when life refuses to follow our plans. A person disappoints us, a door closes, a setback appears, and immediately the mind starts arguing with reality. This shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. Why me? But reality never changes because we argue with it. The Stoics understood something powerful. Pain is often unavoidable, but suffering is often created by resistance. The more we fight reality, the more exhausted we become. Imagine standing in the middle of a river, trying to stop the water with your hands. The harder you fight, the more tired you become. Reality works the same way. Happy people don't waste energy wishing the past was different. They accept what happened, then focus on what happens next. That single shift creates enormous peace. Because acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance is seeing clearly. And once you see clearly, you can act wisely. But there is another habit that makes this possible. Happy people protect their attention. Most people wake up and immediately hand their mind to the world. Notifications, messages, news, social media, opinions. Within minutes, their peace belongs to everyone except themselves. The Stoics would never understand this lifestyle because they knew attention is one of the most valuable things a person owns. Whatever controls your attention controls your life. Think about that. If negative news controls your attention, it controls your emotions. If comparison controls your attention, it controls your confidence. If other people's opinions control your attention, they control your peace. The happiest people understand this. That's why they guard their minds carefully. They choose what enters. They choose what deserves energy. They choose what deserves thought. And because of that, their minds remain calmer than most. But there is one habit even more powerful: gratitude. Not fake positivity, not pretending everything is perfect. Real gratitude, the ability to notice what still exists. Most people spend their lives focused on what is missing. More money, more success, more attention, more validation. And because their eyes are fixed on what they lack, they become blind to what they already have. A healthy body, a safe place to sleep, people who care, opportunities to grow, the chance to begin again. The Stoics regularly reminded themselves that everything is temporary. Not to become fearful, but to become grateful. Because when you remember that nothing lasts forever, ordinary moments suddenly become valuable. The conversation becomes meaningful. The quiet morning becomes precious. The people around you become important, and happiness grows. Not because life changed, but because attention changed. Yet gratitude alone is not enough. There is another habit that separates happy people from everyone else. They pause before reacting. This habit seems small, but it changes everything. A rude comment appears. Most people react immediately. An insult arrives. Most people react immediately. A problem appears. Most people react immediately. And because they react emotionally, they often create bigger problems. The Stoics believed that between an event and a reaction, there is a moment of choice. That moment may last only a few seconds. But those few seconds can save relationships, protect peace, and prevent regret. Happy people use that pause. Instead of reacting, they observe. Instead of exploding, they think. Instead of letting emotion drive, they let wisdom lead. That habit alone can transform a life. But now we arrive at another secret, one that many people completely ignore. Discipline. Most people think happiness comes from comfort. The Stoics believed the opposite. They believed happiness comes from strength. Comfort feels good today, but discipline creates peace tomorrow. Comfort says sleep longer. Discipline says get up. Comfort says avoid the challenge. Discipline says face it. Comfort wants the easy path. Discipline builds the stronger person, and over time, the disciplined person becomes more confident. Not because life became easier, but because they became stronger. Every promise kept to yourself creates self-respect. Every challenge faced creates confidence. Every difficult task completed builds character. The happiest people understand this. They do not trust motivation. They trust habits, because motivation comes and goes. Habits remain. And finally, we reach the habit that ties everything together. Self-reflection. Most people spend years studying others. Very few study themselves. The Stoics did this daily. Marcus Aurelius filled entire journals with reflections. Not because he was perfect, but because he wanted to improve. Happy people do the same. They ask themselves difficult questions. What am I doing wrong? What can I improve? What lesson did today teach me? Where did I lose control? Where did I show strength? This habit prevents life from becoming automatic, because growth begins with awareness, and awareness begins with honesty. The happiest people are not happier because they avoid problems. They are happier because they learn from them. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes training. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to become stronger. And this brings us back to where we started. Most people spend their lives chasing happiness. The Stoics built it one habit at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. They understood something most people never realize. Happiness is not hidden in the future. It is hidden in daily actions, in how you think, how you respond, how you focus, how you live. So if you truly want a happier life, don't ask, how can I become happy? Ask, which habit should I start today? Because happiness is not a destination. It is a practice, and the habits you repeat every day will eventually become the life you live. The choice is yours.